Now this is really the cruise night part of the week that just went by. Karen and I spent the afternoon finishing this cake. We made a birthday cake for our grandson Miles, who's now 2 years old. He loves trains, and I thought I'd put a picture of this. Karen of course did most of the creativity on this. I did most of the eating of the extra candy. There is about 30 bags of candy, M&Ms, chocolate. It's 4 separate cakes on tracks that are made out of cookies, the coal, M&Ms, and a Zukar. It's kind of a creative thing. Thought I'd put a little picture on there before we head out to cruise night. And because Miles loves trains, some of the presents that he's going to be getting for his birthday, he got some train-related Thomas the Tank stuff, and he loves trains. It's no more complicated than that. I don't know if it could ever be better, because we have a model train layout in the house, and he loves playing with the trains. And anyway, we love going down to cruise night. It's one of our favorite nights of the week. It's always Saturday night at the Whiskey Cafe, near Giant Stadium, opposite Medieval Times, right where Route 3 and 17 come together. You can't miss it. You just follow the cars. They're constantly going in and out. Now we always see there's probably 1/3 of the cars we see every week. They're kind of regulars. There's Karen, of course, looking at the rumble seat thinking how nice it would be to have something like this when Miles is a little bit older. Wonder where the seatbelt is in that rumble seat. But Karen, of course, has some very good taste in old cars. She knows a lot about old cars, maybe even more than me. Our plan is when I get to be too old to ride motorcycles, I'm going to get something and restore it and work on it and whatever. But I'm not done yet. I still got a couple miles left in these old knees. Just a few. Anyway, look at the paint. I always love, now because I've been a painter my whole life, I really like looking at good quality paint. This was something I'd love to buy for my grandson. It's a little single-cylinder car. The guy was selling for $600. Here's some unique paint on a Ford wagon. This blinged out giant metal flake. A few of the custom bikes. Some of the Harleys. They usually get 2 rows of bikes going on a good night. And again, some of the paint is really unique. Some of the stuff is relatively stock, or it's just something you take the bike apart and bring it to the chroming and then put it back together. Some of it, and this one kind of interested me, but some of it I have a lot of interest in. Some I have, very little interest in. This I had a ton of interest in, because there was a time when I was young when one of my friends had a car very similar to this, and we used to, of course, go cruising around looking to pick up chicks and ducks and geese and whatever. But look at this. Look at the interior. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful paintwork. Now Karen gave me the seal of approval. She says, when you're done riding bikes, you can buy that car. So that was very nice. And of course our friend here with the funny car, he always has the funny car there. And he rides this on the street and does wheelies going out of the parking lot and whatever. See, I'm looking here, he doesn't even have slicks on it now. I wonder what that's all about. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Then we watch him do his grand entrance and grand exit and whatever. We've actually seen him broken down on the side of the highway too. Now, Karen spent a half an hour, 45 minutes with the gentleman that owns this car. It's a 41 Buick. He's got 7 Buicks in his collection. This, of course, is the gentleman here, and Karen's talking to him and trying to convince him that he should sell this to Wendy for swap them for one of the Ninjas or something. I'm not sure, but boy, this was in nice shape. Wow. Now, he told us there's only 7 of these left. It's a 41 Buick. And I mean, when you look at a car like this and it's restored, this is original. There's nothing on here that came from AutoZone. Maybe the oil. Anyway, and there's always the good supply of modern cars, good supply of the old cars. And the thing that's nice is, and I try to go every weekend. I miss some, but there's always about one third to half of the cars that I've never seen before. And there's always something interesting. And for Karen and I, it's an hour or two of walking. We like to go around 6 to 7 o'clock, stay till dark, have a hot dog and a soda, walk around there playing nice oldies music. Luciano's been there with Cindy. And there's always something for everybody. There's the old lead sleds. The Buick guys all hang out in one row. The guys with the custom motors and turbochargers and V6s and V8s, and they even have a new group now. The Mustang guys kind of all hang out together that have the new Mustangs. That's funny. I put this grill, the tooth grill, I put that in it was a 60 Dodge. I remember making the brackets for it and thinking, wow, I got the coolest car in the world. Everybody will know I'm cool. Never happened. Everybody knew I was a fake. Some of the motors, and these guys spend some money and time. One of the old Plymouths with the ram induction, 2 air cleaners. Well, no, let me go back. That's not ram induction. That's just 2 air cleaners. But the Ram Charger ones are pretty cool with the 2 different air cleaners. This was a nice rod. I'm sure John Cafaro, see, the rods all hang together. I'm sure John Cafaro would love to have something like that. He does, in fact. John, I hope you enjoy these. I know my friend John Pothia with the 62 Vet that's just being restored. He loves these old pictures. We all love them. What am I talking about? One of the cars, it's funny, a friend of mine that from high school, his parents gave him this car, pretty similar to this anyway, and I don't remember what he did. He replaced the motor with a bigger motor or something, but I always remember the thing on the hood had a light in it. It was so cool at night. And it was a big car. When you'd get 6 kids in it, and then you could see 3 more, yeah, you could fit in the back, no problem. Some of the rods. My mom's car, she had a 63. My car. Please, anybody that is giving one of these away for free, I'll take it. I had this car with the L79. Not exactly this one. I had the cheap body with the post in the window. But there's 2 or 3 of them down there every week. This one I've seen before. Absolutely beautiful. Might even have the restored engine in it, the right engine and everything. Absolutely beautiful. Now, one of the ones I know there aren't that many split windows. My brother-in-law had one, a blue one, metallic blue. This one's white. And I try to get as many of the Vets as I can for John Pothia's. I know he's into the Vet thing, as I am too, but this is just a little bit out of my price range. I always figure I could buy like 10 or 15 motorcycles for what one of those cars cost. Anyway, always have some Army guys. There was a big Army swap meet, so they had several Army cars there. Karen loves 57s. And it's a good chance if we ever do get an older car, open up the garage, sell all the motorcycles, that she'll want something like that. Some of the ones that are totally customized from when I was a kid, this was the thing. I don't know what era. These are 50s cars. This was awesome. The paint. You really don't see the paint in a lot of the pictures, but some of these metallic greens in real life just look beautiful. Another Chevy too. Now, I had a 68, and it was a Super Sport too, and long story what happened to the car. Someday I'll get my emotional baggage up and tell the whole story on video, but brings back a lot of memories. It always gives me that feeling like the whole world hasn't gone in a tube yet. There's still a little piece of it left. And these old cars make me think there's still hope for humanity, even though that's probably not true. Look at this Boss 302. Now, like I say, the guys with the modern cars kind of all get in that one area in the back. And there's always these cars that I just think how nice that would look in my garage. I'd love to look at the guy had this. You really don't see it. The whole engine is airbrushed. The hood, the inside of the hood is airbrushed. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then all the way down in the corner, in the exclusive area reserved for the really, oh, look at this. Karen shot a picture of me when I wasn't looking. Checking out, and I'm thinking, you know, am I too tall to get in this car? The reason I stood there, I wanted to show how much they had chopped off of this car. And when you see these chopped cars coming down the road with the big engine sticking out of them, it's really cool. Look at the engine on this. Beautiful, beautiful detailing. Cleaned with Q-tips before every round. Big tank in the trunk. Imagine putting the gas in it. You own a gas station. Got your slicks on. Another Roadster. Look at this. Oh my God. Now this guy was, I gotta look at the exhaust pipes on this again. This had a functional blower on it. It was not a fake one. And he had little baffles in the exhaust pipes. Now I know what he does when they really go for a ride. They take the baffles out. This thing must sound awesome with a blower on it and everything. Must be really cool. In fact, somewhere on here, I'll see if I can get it. I don't know if I can. I got some video of one of the guys with the really blown cars with the blower, everything, leaving the parking lot or coming in, I think. Some nice video. One of the Chevy 2s with the big engine. It's really modified with the big hood scoop. Nice 61. Studebakers. Karen loves Studebakers. Not going to see a lot of them on eBay. And of course, always a sprinkling of new vets, a sprinkling of old vets. Some really custom off-the-wall stuff. Some of the stuff over the top. Some of the traditional stuff. I love having this for another reason on my computer. Is in the middle of the winter when it's freezing out and I'm waiting for paint to dry, get me a cup of coffee and just sit here and play back all these old little YouTube videos. But again, it just gives me that feeling in my heart that all the good things I felt when I was young are not gone forever. They're almost gone. They're over the hill. But they're not totally gone where they're never coming back again. There's still people hanging on to their childhood here, and I'm one of them. And it seems like, if I were to tell the truth, it seems like there's a lot of people hanging on to the past. I think that's great. And again, this is every Saturday night. The other guy had the military machine gun. I'm sure he had bullets in it. Just in case they got your order wrong at McDonald's, you know, you could turn that gun on them and give them some religion. I guess it would be fun cruising down Main Street with a machine gun on the back of your car. The Beetle guys. Karen had a Beetle. She always loves to look at the Beetles. A 409 Chevy. It's got to be a 409. My mom had one. It was not a 409. It was a stick 6. Old T-Birds. Ed Captain T-Birds. Oh my God, look at this. The paint. By the way, that paint in real life was awesome. It really was awesome. And like I said before, I really do like the paint. Paintwork, whether it's cars or motorcycles, good quality paintwork is always something to admire. Yeah, Karen, we're going to get a 57 someday. I'm going to hit the lottery. I'm going to find the Fountain of Youth. It's all coming. Don't worry, baby. There we go. Crate engine Camaro. Ken Tyser, eat your heart out here. I bet if Ken had his Camaro here with the big engine and everything, he'd be right in the front row. 502 Chevy. Old Oldsmobile. This was a guy, this guy did a burnout in the parking lot. Yeah, it's a little dangerous doing these burnouts with millions of dollars worth of cars and kids and dogs, but they still do them. It never seems to diminish their desire to do a burnout. And old Beetles. Oh my God, I can remember freezing to death riding around in an old Beetle. I thought I'd end this thing by just throwing a couple of pictures out there of what the Nite looks like. As you leave, I always try to look back and some of the different modern cars. Again, this one had beautiful paint. I went back and looked at this car 3 or 4 times. Some of the real wild oldies. Some of the cars that I know do track time. And of course the vets. It's the eat your heart out windy time. And the biggest eat your heart out of all time, the day I find my Chevy 2 with an L79 engine that hasn't been disturbed, and it's free, no money, and believe it or not, I do remember that. I do remember the Pontiac hood emblems. Wow. I can imagine how the guys with Indian motorcycles must remember that Indian head that's on the fender of real Indian motorcycles. And then, of course, at the end of the night, everybody starts doing their burnouts and their let's rev the motor up. And now we had a little treat right at the end of this night. A guy pulled in with an Aston Martin. And I had to look at this real close. You can see the guy taking pictures of it. This was a beautiful piece of work. Wow. Another beautiful car. And it just shows you in the world, it's not really in the world of car collecting or motorcycling or airplanes or whatever. It's life in general. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Wow. And the people that are willing to pay tremendous money for these cars and love them and they're passionate about them, it's just better for them. And then there's my life, the life of the dogs. Anyway, this is a dog. I had to get a picture of him on here. A dog up by Perry's. Jose was watching the dog with one of the women he was talking to, and I had to get a picture of him. It's a dog's life. Anyway, cruise night is a ton of fun. If you ever want to join us there, just let me know, or if you need directions.